Hello comrades, Commissar Bro here today with Massive Chalice, the newest game from Double Fine Productions. That's right. And this game is incredibly interesting. Now, to start off with the whole disclaimer nonsense, I got a review copy from them. So yeah, that is the disclosure. Yeah, all that good stuff. Anyway, so let's go ahead and explain this game. The simplest way to describe it is pretty much take a mix between the art style of Bastion and the gameplay mechanics of XCOM. That's right. Yet, while XCOM is very, very challenging, this game is not so much challenging in its battles and more so challenging in its overworld, which you'll find out soon enough. And it tries to put a much greater emphasis on the characters who become these heroes that fight against these monsters. Again, we'll go into more detail of what exactly is going on in the overworld as time goes on, right? In the meantime, I'm basically just going to show some basic combat mechanics and all that good stuff. So, the game is simple enough. You go in with strike teams of 5, and unfortunately, I kind of mismanaged the control of my my groups, so now I'm kind of stuck with a bunch of bowmen, essentially, is the best way to describe them. Which, inherently, that's... Oh, come on. Inherently, that's not a bad thing, but it can kind of be detrimental to what you're trying to accomplish if you don't build your parties the right way. Like, I don't have a melee guy, don't have an alchemist. There are 3 classes in the game. Obviously, the first class I have here is the Hunter class, which is like the archers, basically. The second class is the Caberjacks, which is kind of like a melee, very heavy, hard-hitting unit, which, again, I do not have in this current group. And the third is the Alchemist. The Alchemist throws like flasks, basically, which they're just grenades, is what they are. They throw grenades, and they're a little bit weaker in melee fighting than everybody else. And yeah, these enemies I'm facing here are basically monsters called the Cadence. Ugh, and I hate bulwarks. I friggin' hate bulwarks. They're so gay. They deal so much damage, and they can shoot their cannonballs. They shoot out the top, basically fire in a straight line through all of your guys. It's hella annoying. But anyway, so yeah, that's the basics of combat, really. It's pretty simple. Oh, and there is permadeath. That's something else. It's not like XCOM where sometimes you can revive the guys, stuff like that. No, this is full-on permadeath. If one of your guys dies, he or her is dead for good. Now, there are family systems in this game, which again I'm going to show once we get onto the overworld map. It's just taking me a little bit longer to complete this level than I originally thought. There's actually a lot of enemies on each map. It's crazy how many enemies are on each map. Like, sometimes it's kind of overwhelming, and it's hard to be expected to get all of your guys out. Something that should be mentioned about each one of your characters, by the way, is that they all have traits, personalities, and status. If it's going to let me scroll, there it goes. See, right now, this character's having an asthma attack, so reduce speed from moving too far the last turn. Traits, Hawkeye, asthmatic, child tendency, daughters, personality, rebel, reckless, insightful, so on. So basically, right before a battle, your men can actually get drunk, and then it will inhibit their combat performance. And as you can see, I'm actually 64 years and 316 days into this campaign against the Cadence. Pretty much this all-consuming monster force, because I don't seem to be getting done with this level anytime soon, who their overall goal is to wipe out humanity. That's right. As if we haven't heard a story like that before, right? Now, although the story is... They leave it incredibly vague. And I feel like they do this purely so you can get... And I don't know how I can't see that monster right there. Right there, dude. Holy shit. That's kind of disappointing. Alright, let's try moving in. There we go. Now I can see him. Alright, what do we need? A follow-up attack. There we go. Fire! Oh, god damn it! And that will happen, too, even though you have, ludicrously high numbers. Like, look, 85% chance to hit. And I missed that last time. Like, seriously? Come on now. Come on. I think it basically just chooses to hit most of the time, and sometimes it doesn't hit. But then again, I don't really use people who suck most of the time, so I don't really have too much trouble hitting shit. But anyway. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of finish up this battle so that I can show you guys the overworld, because that's where everything, in my opinion, or at least the best part of this game, is actually in the overworld. And controlling the families, all these different people, and, you know, their training and all that good stuff. So yeah, without further ado, I will continue the video at that point. Alright, so there we go. We finally finished the mission. And, yeah, thank God. Alright, so we got a total of 16 kills. It took us 13 minutes, and we played for 13 turns. So let's move on and look at the overworld. Alright, so this is the overworld, and in my opinion, this is where the game is actually incredibly interesting. Aside from the fact that the combat's simplistic, it doesn't, and the way they have it set up, it doesn't really need to be any harder, or, well, more challenging, I guess. I mean, it'd be nice, sure, but anyway. The fact remains. So, pretty much, you start out with just this little keep here, right? This is called Academy Keep. And here, you do your researching, you build your buildings. There's only 3 different types of buildings that I've seen so far. The Crucible, Sage Rights Guild, and Keep. Now, the Sage Rights Guild increases research if you put heroes in it. You've got your Crucible, which allows for training and whatnot. And the keeps actually allow you to create new bloodlines. Now that's where this game is different from probably any other game I've ever played in my entire life, is the emphasis they put on heroes and their lives and family lines and bloodlines and houses and all sorts of shit. So, as you can see, each one of these flags, or their last name, denotes a different house. Now as you can see, predominantly right now I'm made up of Kvass hunters. Now, there are the Dubonnays, the Denonshade, I don't know how to pronounce that, Donshade, or something like that, and the Scoutlandish. That's right, those are the other 3 houses. There is a Bradley house, but unfortunately, they're trying to create more babies and not doing so well. Now, we do have trainees, those who are too young to actually partake in battles or be assigned to any position, and then you have those who have died. And as you can see, my list of those who have died is actually pretty extensive. Mostly because of just old age, natural causes. I've only lost like 1 person in battle. And then this person right here, Petronella Bradley, actually died because of an event. Look at that, died at the age of 0. To give you an idea, it was apparently like a demon baby. That's right. The premise of this story, as I was saying before, is right here you have the Massive Chalice, which is kind of like this life-giving protector. If you've ever played Destiny, think of the Traveler, or whatever the hell that giant white ball is called. That's protecting the last city on Earth. And that's wherein lies this goo, this fog around our world. This is the Cadence, the monsters that are attempting to take over this land, and unfortunately, there's not much that can be done about it. All you can do is hold off the Cadence long enough for 300 years to pass, which we still have 236 years. What that means is that the Massive Chalice basically charges up and it disperses these beings. Now, inside of the Massive Chalice, or the Massive Chalice itself, is actually 2 individuals or spirits at this point in time who've inhabited it, who kind of act like your advisors. If you actually look at the shape of the chalice, you can kind of see a woman, and on the left you can see a man. And they will talk and tell you stuff and give you hints and whatnot from time to time, letting you know how to do stuff. Blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of the gist of the story. You've also got armor research, weapons research. There's items you can get. You can just adopt heroes or discover new heroes. And then there's nation research options, but I haven't seen anything from that yet. Here's everything I've done thus far. Now, the way you actually research is, like I said, you select it, and then you just press the play button, and time passes by. Babies are born, heroes die, events happen, like, let's see here, region appointment, marriage, hero death, so on. Now, as I was saying previously with the bloodlines, oh, sweet, we got more heroes, sweet. So with the bloodlines, every time you create a keep, for example, see, we got a whole bunch of new heroes. That's just great. All right, so every time you create a new keep, you pretty much get the opportunity to create a new family, to unite two bloodlines, and they'll create babies. If we take a look at House Bradley over here, there are currently no trainees. Now, if you see here, these are the children that were created out of House Bradley. Two of them became Sage Rights, which essentially they forsake their house to create. And yeah, that's how that works. So let's go look at the stuff. I don't know. That's pretty much the gist. That's pretty much the gist of how the game works. It's very simple, yet I can just tell how it's going to get ever friggin' harder, because you know, if you make even a few mistakes, if you don't have enough heroes, which is the problem that I keep running into, is that I don't have enough heroes. They die so easily, especially of old age. And like I said, that's kind of where the meat of this game is. Whereas you can sit and you know, do the combat, but really I actually just enjoy watching the timeline roll by and seeing all the events that pop up in terms of, like, you know, what's going on in the lives of all these heroes. See, look, we just had two babies born, one in the Igor and Anan house, and one to the one in Dusk Garden, and one into an Upper Salda. So yeah, I don't know. This is a really cool game. I definitely recommend it. And here's an event, perfect timing. Let's see, the Balloon Man, an old man with steady eyes, stands before you. I have been beyond the corruption, he asserts. I have built a hot air balloon for this purpose. And I have seen what can't be seen, but nobody trusts my word. I have to take you here, Razmida Garche, on a new expedition to prove that insanity lies not within me, but out there in the expanse. I guarantee it will be a most illuminating experience. Okay. Right. Let's do this one. We'll send him out there, and he'll be gone for 10 years. But he'll be back. And I've actually, one of my heroes I had to send to jail. So, boom. School of Hard Knocks personality. Good. Welcome back. She was 29 when she got sent to jail for killing somebody on accident. Yeah. That's, stuff like that actually happens in this game. Now, attacks from the cadence only happen every 10 to 15 years. So, you have enough time to kind of put some upgrades on in between. And I don't know. I kind of wish the combat was a little bit better. It's not bad. It's simple. And that probably is a good thing. But I don't know. Maybe later on it gets a little bit more complicated. But, I mean, I'm already how many turns in? I'm 75 years into the game, which of a max of 300 years, that's not really a lot. I do like, though, how that the heroes age and as time goes on. As you can see, like, my lineup here is they're no longer the young children pretty much that I was using, you know, 30, 40 years ago. Now I've got a 56, a 59, a 55, and so on. It's really, it's the people in this game that make it so interesting. It's the heroes that you get, the skills and whatnot. It's crazy. I really like that. And, I mean, this is impressive, and I honestly think it's worth your money. Because I can tell you right now, I honestly would buy this game. And I'm heavily considering buying a copy of it myself, just to support Double Fine on this one, because I can see so much potential from this game if they just keep on putting in time and effort to make it better. But anyway, this has been Commissar Bro. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope, if you like this game, to go out there and support Double Fine. I think the game right now is only 15, 20 bucks, something like that, which for a game like this that actually is pretty decent in content, and I cannot wait to see the end. I want to see what happens. So, unfortunately, well, depending on how you look at it, I'm going to keep playing until I see how it ends. But this has been Commissar Bro. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.